traveller came to visit. And this traveller told of riches, wealth to be had in faraway lands, of streets paved with gold. The old farmer listened intently. He was smitten. So smitten, he sold his farm. In an act of rashness, he went off to search for this El Dorado. Well, he searched years, he went high and he went low, but he never found the streets paved with gold, he never found the riches. And he died, alone, broke, distraught. Back on the farm, the new farmer was walking one day. At the end of one of his fields, he had noticed a large collection of big rocks, unusual shapes. He wondered what they were. He decided to go to the local university one day, where he knew one of the geology faculty, and asked them, "What is this rock I've got here?" They examined the rock, and it turned out to be a diamond. One of the largest diamonds that had ever been discovered. He was a wealthy man. He lived happily ever after. But why hadn't the old farmer, who had seen these rocks all around him, why had he not noticed that they were diamonds? Well, a diamond in its original format just looks like a black stone. You need to clean it, you need to polish it to reveal the diamond within. And the old farmer had not noticed that. This is a story that was presented at the turn of the 19th, 20th century by a gentleman called Russell Conwell. And I believe that this story has great relevance for us at Toastmasters. I believe that Toastmasters is covered in acres of diamonds, but they are disguised in work clothes. They're there, lying before you all, waiting for you to pick them up, to them a little polish for you to have. I've been a member of Toastmasters for the past 5 years, and I've been searching for these acres of diamonds, picking up the opportunities, polishing them, and I have reaped the rewards. And I'd like to tell you about some of my discoveries. When I first joined Toastmasters, I had the opportunity to take on the role of Vice President of Membership, and then later Vice President of Education. And I learned about organisation, I learned how to communicate via email, via telephone, via face-to-face, with all my committee members, with all the members, with all the guests. Learned how to do a bit of table topics. I'm still learning how to do that one. And I noticed there was a correlation between what I was learning at Toastmasters and what was happening in the business world around me. And it was ground home to me one day when I was invited to participate in an interview for a job, which I still have to this day, which is over 3.5 years ago. And I had an interview which lasted 2.5 hours. Two interviewers. One played good cop, one played bad cop. So one asked me the hard questions, and the other one said, "That is very nice." It was a very interesting game they were playing with me. And at the end of the 2.5 hours, they said, "Now, Pedro, it's time for the presentation." They had asked me to do a presentation. And I thought to myself, I've just spent 2.5 hours being grilled by you guys, and they want me to do a presentation? So to them I said, "Yeah, no problem, I'll do that, not a problem." The presentation was to be a training program, where I was to teach them how to use Microsoft Outlook for 15 minutes. So they took me into a room, and I said, "Where are the computers?" They looked at each other, no computers. So I was thinking, how am I supposed to do this training? So I said, "Don't worry, no problem." Toastmasters came to my mind. Table topics. This is impromptu speaking. I said, "No problem, don't worry." I said to the interviewers, "If you can imagine, you have 2 computers in front of you, I will train you." So they said, "Okay." And so that's what happened. I trained them how to use Microsoft Outlook with their virtual computers in front of them. I got the job. And it was thanks to what I had learned at Toastmasters that gave me the confidence to stand there and say, "No problem, I can do that." I work for BP, and I noticed when I was working at BP, opportunities were all over the place. But I didn't have the skill set to deal with them. I wanted to progress, but I didn't know how. So I looked at Toastmasters and I thought, well, what do we have in Toastmasters that could assist me to prepare myself for these type of roles that I want to take on. So I became president of my club, then I took on the area governor's role, and I learned planning, I learned communication, I learned impromptu speaking, I learned processes, all the things that I thought I would need to prepare myself. It must have paid off, because one day the program manager of the program I was working on came to me and said, "Would you like to be the project manager for a group of 17 rolling out new computers to 1,000 people in the flagship site at BP Sunbury?" I said, "Okay." And I said, "No," I said to him, "Yes, of course, love to do it." And I took it on. There were challenges on the way. I fell on my face, but I picked myself up. The strength I had learned from Toastmasters had given me that inner strength to be able to say, I can do this. The learnings were there. And I had my colleagues back at Toastmasters to whom I could go back and say, "I'm trying to do this at my job. Would you be able to help me?" And of course, what do? They give you evaluations, of course, and it was fantastic. I'm very happy to say we succeeded in the project, and I'm still employed with BP, and I'm still doing lots of other interesting areas. To conclude, I mentioned at the outset acres of diamonds that Toastmasters have got them in abundance all around. I would make a recommendation to all of you and the guests here. You may have goals in your mind, goals that you've wanted to try and achieve. Look to Toastmasters to see where are the opportunities that can help you and assist you to achieve those goals. For example, we have 15 advanced manuals. Within each of those manuals, there's many diamonds ready to take out and polish. We have the Better Club series, we have the Better Speaker series, we have the Leadership series, we've got the High Performance Leadership program. We have you. The wealth of knowledge in this room is frightening. Ask, and you will receive. Keep your mouth shut, nothing will happen. My goal for myself next year is to take on the challenge, if I'm elected, to the district PRO, the Public Relationship Officer role. This is going to be a new learning, a new challenge for me, in that I've never run a campaign before. So that's going to be the challenge in itself. How do I organise myself? How do I do it? And if I am elected, if I'm lucky enough to be elected by my fellow peers, then I will get to work with all the public relationship officers throughout the whole of the District of UK and Ireland, where we can work to try and uncover even more diamonds. Even if I am not successful, the learning is there, which I will take away and will be invaluable for whatever else I plan to do. I mentioned at the outset, the opportunities are there for all of us. They're hidden in workflows. There are acres of diamonds all around you. All you need to do is take a step forward, pick them up, a bit of polishing, and they are there and yours for the asking. Mr. Contest Chair.